Hello students, welcome back to the video lecture series. Before I start today's session, a small feedback about your assignments. For some of the students, I am returning the assignments for want of some corrections. Right now, that's the only alternative that I have with me, to make the corrections or to tell you what are the corrections or the mistakes that you have made. So please don't feel bad for that. I am forced to do that. This is not a class where I can come and correct you. So this is the only alternative that I have, to correct your mistakes. Okay. So today we are going to take up a projection of pyramids. This is the second part of solids. Let us recollect what was done in the last class. In the last class we have discussed about projection of prisms, and if you remember, there are three problems that were done following SP1 and SP2. You have only SP1 and SP2 under projection of prisms. There are no SP3 and SP4 like your planes. So whether it is SP1 or SP2, you are going to start by drawing the top view first. There is no question of starting the problem by drawing the front view in projection of prisms. You must have noticed this. As far as your syllabus is concerned, or the problems that are given in the question bank are concerned, it covers only SP1 and SP2. So you are lucky that way. So when it is SP1, you are going to start by drawing the top view, taking a base edge on the right side. When it is SP2, you are going to start again by drawing the top view first, by taking a base corner on the right side. So this is what we have done with projection of prisms. Now drawing number 12, we are going to deal with pyramids, projection of pyramids. Even in drawing number 12, you have three problems. So I will be solving all the three problems today and upload the videos for you, and I will also create the assignments related to the videos. Okay. Now this is the model that I have selected. This is a rectangular pyramid. You can see the base. The base is a rectangle. Like in prisms, the pyramids are also named after the base. Now let me compare a prism with a pyramid, and let me list out the differences. If you take a prism, you will have a top face and a base. Here there is no top face, there is only one base, that's all. Okay. So projection of pyramids will become simpler when you compare with prisms. If you take the same example, rectangular prism and a rectangular pyramid, if it is a rectangular prism, you will have 4 points at the base and 4 points at the top face. So there are 8 points to be projected. But in case of a pyramid, you just have 4 points here and an apex, only 5 points. Okay, so drawing the projections become simpler here. Now let me discuss about the differences. So the first difference, as I already mentioned, you will have just one base here, there is no top face. That is the first difference. The second difference about the lateral faces. Look at the lateral faces. Here the lateral faces are triangles, whereas in a prism you had them as rectangles. This is the second difference. The third difference is that in prisms, the rectangular faces were perpendicular to the base. This is the base, the rectangular face will be perpendicular to the base. Whereas here, the triangular faces are inclined to the base. That's the third difference. And all the triangular faces will meet at a point called the apex here. Okay. Then the last one, coming to the axis. How did you define the axis in case of a prism? It's an imaginary line connecting the center of the top face with that of the base in case of prisms. In case of pyramids, it is an imaginary line once again connecting the apex with the center of the base. Okay. So that's about the differences between a prism and a pyramid. Now let me explain about the construction of the pyramid. How is it constructed? Okay. So as already mentioned, The pyramid is named after the base. Since the base is a rectangle here, I call it a rectangular pyramid. Similarly, you can have triangular pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, square pyramid, and so on. Depends on the base that you have. But the lateral faces will be of triangles here. Now, if you take these are called as base corners. If I take this as A, this is B, C, D. A, B, C, D represents the corners of base. Next, like in prisms, here also A, B, B, C, C, D and D, A. They are called the base edges. Sometimes you call it side of base, sometimes you call it as side of edge of base. Okay. Then the next term is the base itself. A, B, C, D is called the base. A, B, C, D is the base. Then the next term, if you call the apex as O, this one, O, A, it is called as slant edge. Similarly, O, B, O, C, O, D, they are called as slant edges of the pyramid. And the last term is O, A, B. That's called the triangular face or the lateral face of the pyramid. Similarly, O, B, C. That's another triangular face. O, C, D and then O, D, A. They represent the triangular faces or the lateral faces of the pyramid. I'll once again show you on the sheet so that you can make notes of it. Okay. And finally, the axis O. If you call this as O and the center of the base as O1, the imaginary line connecting O with O1 is called the axis. Okay, so let me repeat once again the terms used with reference to a pyramid. If you call this as A, B, C and D, they are called corners of base. The second one is side of base or edge of base. AB, BC, CD, DA. It's called side of base or edge of base. Sometimes you call it as base edge shortly. Then the base itself. A, B, C, D. You don't have any top face here, it's only the base. So we don't call it as A1, B1, C1, D1 here. It is just A, B, C, D. That's all the base. If it is a triangular pyramid, it is just A, B, C. If it is a pentagonal pyramid, it will be A, B, C, D, E and so on. Then the next term is the slant edge. If you call this as O and this corner as A, OA is a slant edge. Sometimes we also call it as inclined edge. Similarly, OB, OC, OD, they are all slant edges or inclined edges of the pyramid. And then the triangular face, the lateral face, OAB, OBC, OCD, ODA. So they are all the lateral faces or triangular faces of the pyramid, and finally O1 is the axis. So if you need to get the axis, you need to find the center of the base first. You know how to find a center in a triangle, square, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon and so on. So once you get the pyramid, once you get the center, connect it with the apex by a chain line that becomes the axis of the pyramid. There is one difference when you draw the top view of a prism or a pyramid. In case of a prism, if it is a rectangular prism, the top view will just be a rectangle. But here, if you want to draw the top view, what will be the top view? You are able to see the slant edges as well here. So you need to draw the slant edges also in a pyramid. In a prism, since the rectangular faces are perpendicular to base, okay, since the rectangular faces are perpendicular to base, they become points in the top view. But here, the slant edges are not perpendicular to base. So you will be able to view the slant edges when you look from the top. So how to view how they appear in the top view, I will be able to show when I take up a problem. Okay. So the slant edges, when you draw in the top view, first you will mark the center and just connect the center with all the corners. You have to connect the center with all the corners. They represent the slant edges. You will see it in the sheet. I will show you when I take up a problem. Okay. Now I will go back. I will go to the sheet and tell you about these terms that are used with reference to a pyramid. So please watch carefully. Now I have taken here an example of a rectangular pyramid. This is a rectangular pyramid. Okay, the base is a rectangle. As I have mentioned already, I call the corners as A, B, C, D and the apex as O. Okay, now the terms used. First, A, B, C, D, they are called as corners of base. Next, A, B, B, C, C, D. You can see here A, B, B, C, C, D and D, A. They are called sides of base. Side of base or edge of base or shortly base edge. That is the second term. The third term is the base itself. ABC. ABC is the base of a triangular pyramid. Then ABCD, as you see here, that is the base of either a square pyramid or a rectangular pyramid. Similarly, you can have ABCDE. That will be the base of a pentagonal pyramid and so on. So basically it represents the base. Then the next term is the slant edge. Just now I have shown you. You can see here OA, OB, OC, OD. They are called the slant edges. Sometimes you call them as inclined edges as well. And then the lateral face or the triangular face. Okay, you can see here OAB. That's the triangular face. OBC is another triangular face. OCD and then ODA. So you have four triangular faces here for a rectangular pyramid. And finally OO1. OO1 is an imaginary line always. In a rectangle, how do you find the center? You just connect the diagonals, you get the center. That you have to connect with the apex to get the axis. Okay, so OO1 represents the axis. So that's about the terms that are used with reference to a pyramid. Now, like in prisms, even in pyramids we have only two simple positions. Simple position 1 and simple position 2. So we are going to solve these three problems under drawing number 12 with using these simple position 1 and 2. So you can make a notes of this. You can take down these terms. Okay, let me explain you what is simple position 1 with the help of the model. Then I will come back here and answer all those four questions. Okay, once again I will take this model. This is the model that I have chosen to explain you what is simple position 1. So it is similar to what you had in prisms. What do we do for simple position 1? The first condition is you must keep the base on HP and take one of the base edges on the right side perpendicular to VP. So if this is your VP here, so let me say I am taking this this edge perpendicular to VP. So this is the position that you have in the as the position of the pyramid for simple position 1. So what will be your top view? Your top view will be a rectangle. You will be also able to show the slant edges. And the front view will be a triangle. And because you are keeping the base on HP, this line appears to be on XY line. Okay. So in this case, the top view is a rectangle. You will also be able to show the slant edges. Then the front view will be a triangle, and you will show the triangle with this line on XY line because the base is on HP. Okay, this appears to be on XY line. That's how you will show the top and front views. When you move to second step, this is how you will make it inclined. You are going to rotate the pyramid about this base edge. So this is your second step. This position can be specified by giving you any one of these three angles. One is you may be given the inclination of the base with HP, you may be given inclination of the axis with HP, or you may be given the inclination of this face, this triangular face with HP. So when this is the position given to you in the problem, you should adopt SP1, simple position 1. There is one more thing here. When you are given this position, what is this position? The pyramid is resting with this triangular face on HP. Even in this position, you are going to adopt SP1, simple position 1. Okay, what is this position? the pyramid is resting with the triangular face on HP. When this is the position also, you have to adopt SP1. So there are two positions. One is this position. If this is the first step, this is an intermediate position. Step 2. So step 2 can be this or it could be this. Okay. We are going to solve the problems on both these. One is this and one is this one. In this case, the triangular face is inclined to HP. Now the triangular face is on HP. On both the cases, we will solve the problems. Okay. So let me explain you what is simple position 1 on the sheet once again, so that you can take down the notes. And I am going to answer those 4 questions which we normally do. Okay. So I will once again come back to the sheet to explain you what is SP1. So you can see here in the sheet, I have written down what is SP1. A pyramid resting with its base on HP and one of the base edges, preferably the right side one, perpendicular to VP. This is SP1. Okay. I repeat again, a pyramid with its base on HP and one of its base edges, preferably the right one, perpendicular to VP. Then what the second question is, when to adopt SP1? When a pyramid is resting with one of its base edges on HP with one of these angles given to you in the problem. You may be given inclination of the base with HP, or you may be given inclination of the axis with HP, or you may be given the inclination of the triangular face with HP. Under all these conditions, you have to adopt SP1. Just now I have shown you the intermediate position. Okay, there is one more condition that may be given in the problem for you to adopt SP1 that I have shown here. When a pyramid is resting with one of its slant triangular faces on HP. Even in this case, you have to adopt SP1. Then the third question is how to start. This is simple. Start by drawing the top view first with the right side base edge perpendicular to XY line. This is simple. And how to proceed? SP1, HPC and VPC. There is no change in this. So I'll return this back. You can make a notes of this. And then followed by this one. Okay students, I'll take a short break and come back and solve the first problem of drawing number 12.